Well, lots that was significant, even. We've been talking a lot this week in the last few days about power optics, and this was really another demonstration of China's ability to stand up against the US and to what it describes as being Western hegemonic behavior. You might argue the president's speech was really an open challenge. As we heard a moment ago, he said that humanity needed to choose between peace and war, and said that China always stood on the right side of history and the right path towards progress. I want to pick out one part of the speech in particular. He said that history cautions us that humanity rises and falls together, and that only when countries treat each other as equals can we coexist in peace, uphold common security, and eradicate the root cause of war. This was really a reinforcement of China's vision of a multipolar world, or multilateralism, at least the way that China sees it. In the speech, President Xi also paid tribute to those who fought against the Japanese in the war of aggression. That's what World War II is known as in China. He talked about the contributions and sacrifices that China made in fighting against fascist forces, and the contributions it made in saving human civilization. He called for China to speed up the development of a world-class military and to protect the sovereignty and national integrity of China. So this was a huge signal to the rest of the world that China is strong. It will continue to strengthen itself militarily. And Xi said that China needed to use its past to shape the future.
And well, Patrick, they say a picture paints 1,000 words. And after that speech, of course, we saw that very strong parade, giving us a sign of China's military capabilities.
Yeah, I think this was a really incredibly impressive parade, anybody that saw it this morning. And of course, it comes after the Trump administration held a military procession of its own, which was widely panned and really regarded as a bit of a failure. So this really stands in stark contrast to that. Whereas in the US, there were relatively few spectators. We are told that there were 50,000 spectators lining Chang'an Avenue to watch today. There were more than 10,000 troops involved in the parade, more than 100 aircraft and hundreds of ground vehicles as well. This is really seen as a coming out party of China's military modernization, coming at a time of heightened rivalry between Washington and Beijing, and geopolitical turmoil as well. And many of the leaders that were attending and participating today really see the US as being responsible for part of that geopolitical turmoil, at least, because of the Trump administration's trade and foreign policy. Some of the hardware that was on show today included new aerial drones and hypersonic missiles. In particular, we are told about a new road-ready intercontinental ballistic missile as well. So there were, all in all, vast amounts of military hardware on show at this parade in Beijing today.
And meanwhile, Patrick, we had that very rare image of the three leaders, Xi, Putin and Kim, standing side by side as they watched that military parade, sending a very clear message of their own and, expected to hold more and more talks together.
Yeah, that's right. It's really a picture of unity. One notable inclusion as well was President Prabowo Subianto of Indonesia. We thought he wasn't going to be there at the parade because of the political turmoil that's taking place in his country at the moment, but he was there. But certainly the focus was very much on this triangular alliance, and President Xi was flanked by Russia's Vladimir Putin as well as Kim Jong-un, again sending a very powerful picture and very powerful message to the US. Russian President Vladimir Putin in particular, it was important for him to be here today and to show, despite the West's efforts, that Russia is not isolated. And for Kim Jong-un as well, he is in Beijing to try and improve relations with Beijing. There have been signs of strains because of some of its weapons testing programs, but he is there, and it's important for all three leaders to show that they are united and all are very much aligned in their opposition to the West and the US.
Patrick Fok, following